I now want to focus specifically. The president says that he apologizes for taking so long to conduct the lifestyle audit, which he had promised sometimes last year. And he says that now they are finishing with the procurement officers and the accounting officers. Then after that, they can start doing the lifestyle audit. But we still don't have a law that will ensure that is done. So really, what are you doing? The president is setting himself up for failure. Because if you don't have a law to support that, and you're a public servant, and somebody comes to try and do a lifestyle audit on you, and you say no, what are they going to do? And they'll go to court. And like you've heard from my sister, the lawyer here, Mheshimiwa Gladys, she says that the courts don't operate on presidential orders or on the policy. They look at the law. And so if you go to law, they'll find out as a worker or as a citizen, have your rights been infringed? What does the law say? And if there's no framework to do that lifestyle audit, then it's not going to work. So I think they need to go back, or there are people who advise the president need to go back and create that framework to allow a lifestyle audit to go on. I believe in it myself. I think that it is right, principle-wise and policy-wise, to do a lifestyle audit, but just put the right legal mechanisms in place for it to happen.
But you know, I think people, Kenyans are forgetting something, and we forget very quickly. Do you remember when the EACC officials were supposed to have been vetted during the time of Mobea, what's the name of the other gentleman, Halake? Yes, during that time. Do you know what happened? They got someone to go to court, you know, and say that it shouldn't be done. So do you know they managed to actually serve their term without going through the vetting process. So the question we should be asking ourselves, how can EACC then have the moral authority to say other Kenyans and other public servants must go through a lifestyle audit when they declined to have the lifestyle audit? I remember when they appeared before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament where I sit, we asked them, and they said, oh, it's not us who went to court. We said, no. You can always go to court and tell the court, we do not want to be party to this case. We are submitting ourselves for a lifestyle audit. Then also, when you talk about enabling law, I think we are just picking hairs here. You don't actually need an enabling. There's already law. Remember, the public servants are required to submit a wealth declaration form every two years. And immediately you go in there. What should happen is, and those declarations are kept until there is some suspicion. So at the moment that people question whether you have integrity issue and so on, they should be able to go back immediately on your wealth declaration form to be able to see. Remember that as politicians, you also do a self-declaration form to EACC at the time you're getting elected, and we all did. We did. So with that, so there is information that can get done. But also, people should, in fact, I remember when I was charged, one of the things my husband and I did was go to EACC and declare and said, this is what we own, and this is a schedule of how we have purchased each and everything that we own, and therefore we submitted ourselves for a lifestyle audit. They trashed it. So again, we must begin to ask ourselves, the problem is not making new laws. It's making the institutions that exist at the moment to work, and those public servants in those offices to begin to focus on doing their job. So how do you make sure that the president's wish, let me call it a wish, of a lifestyle audit can be conducted and it's not challenged through the law? But and you still pursue it?
You just go back to your wealth declaration form. It is so easy because you just go through KRA. By the way, KRA will give you that you came in 2013, and this is what these were your returns. You have arrived in 2019, you are giving me returns of 50 million, 60 million. Or you have 10 houses you've acquired, yet the tax you pay is the same. I mean, it's so easy. You don't even need a form, you just need KRA to tell you.
So how exactly do you do that? Through
your returns.
What I'm asking is, she's saying that currently we only do that because we are suspicious of something that we might have done. But now we want to do it on all state officials, on all public officials.
That's what we are saying. It's as simple. When I joined Bunge in 2013, I filled the form. I declared I have 10 acres of land In 2019, I've added, I have 20 acres of land somewhere, I have this. I just need to explain that. You don't even need to go for many other issues.
Yes.
You just need to go to the basics where, when I'm, and anyway, those who are looking for jobs, and especially government jobs, it is so easy to do a lifestyle audit on them because they come to Bunge and they declare, I'm worth 700 million, isn't it? You've declared you're worth 700 million. So the only thing, if we are serious about ourselves, is that in 3 years, if I check, I don't need to question you because you are worth 700 million. But so far I can see in bank, in what, you're about worth 2 to 3 billion. It's really.
And we know how much
you just
earn.
need to say, and every 2 years, I'm supposed to refill again. So that time when I'm doing that, I just need to answer a few questions. Okay, fine. I took a loan. I am doing this business. I got into profits on this, and I have paid my KRA on those profits. So it's a clean business. So I don't need to get worried. You know, we make it as if it's like a crime. This lifestyle audit. It's not a crime because if you are blessed by God, and you know, it's not a crime, by the way. It's only a crime when you are trying to lie to us that in 4 years, you can be worth this when I'm having a salary of this.
That's a very good explanation as we bring in Mheshimiwa Mueke. That's a very good explanation for honest people. But but the target here is not the honest people. It is those who have stolen from the public.
Yes.
How do we catch them?
Exactly, and which is my point. You can only catch them if you have a law in place to be able to catch them. Because people do fill out these wealth declaration forms, but they lie on them. Because they know my salary is known, I have no known businesses or other sources of income, and yet I own this much. I just won't declare it. And then they take advantage of, again, the silo system, where the KRA will not talk to the government, the institution where you work, and will not talk to the bank. So there's all these silos, so nobody knows what the other person is doing, right? So people take advantage of that, dishonest people take advantage of that loophole, and they lie. And that's where we are having this problem. So what a lifestyle audit means is your lifestyle is not commensurate to your earnings, which means that now I am taking my kids to very expensive schools, I'm driving very expensive cars, I'm living in very expensive houses, I'm going to the bars and drinking very expensive whiskeys, and yet my salary can't support any of that. Now you as a law enforcement organization, how will you come to start looking into my affairs? I'll tell you, no. Go away. Who are you? In what capacity are you asking me? Then now you have to go to court and get a court order to come and ask me those questions. How did you acquire this? Can we see the evidence of acquiring this? Now, is there a law that supports all of that? If there isn't, then it won't happen. Anyway. I'll keep lying on my wealth declaration forms every 2 years.
But now, this law that we bring in
and hold on, I'll give you even an example. Hold on a second, Madam Speaker. I'll give you an example. I think somebody the other day was arrested. It must have been one of our former finance officials at City Hall who had $1 billion shillings in their account. And when they were arrested and everything, KRA came back and said, oh, we don't care how you got your billion, I just want my 30% tax. Whoa. You can't do that. Everybody must be in the same page, and that's why in working institutions like in America, the Internal Revenue Service has the powers to come and look in and say, hey, wait a minute, you're paying tax on this amount of money, how did you acquire this amount of money? But our KRA just says, oh, let the DCI deal with how you got the money. I really don't care how you got it. But since it's in your bank account, can I have my 30% of it? So really, two wrongs don't make a right.
But just to say what the president said, I think he was very clear. And as we discussed, we realized the president also has been waiting for that law. And maybe that is why he has asked for more time. So that he gets the law, so that we also don't come back and start questioning, there's no law, there's not this. So for me, what has kept the president waiting is that law.
Yes. And I hope they're having a serious day, because I've heard about that there need to be a law and so on. I've not quite understood what exactly they want to put in that law, or where is the loophole that they want to close. But if they are to do that, then we need to realize check where the challenges are. For example, your self-declaration form that you give to EACC as a politician before you run for political office, basically it's a confession and you can be held to account to it. But I've seen recently that some people have been taken to court for lying on their self-declaration form.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the courts has let them off.
Yeah.
In fact, there's one case where a university, the person in the self-declaration form also declared what degrees they have. They declared that they have a certain degree. That university has said that is not our student and we never issued him with that degree. That should be an immediate summary judgment.
Imagine.
So you see, the self-declaration form was to make certain things faster.
Yeah.
So that if I declared, even if I lie on my, my wealth declaration form, the fact that I have put it there myself voluntarily without
and signed
it, should that be used to take to court? It should be a summary judgment issue.
You don't need to go back to the school to ask.
I think where the challenge is, people are wondering how people still get court orders to suspend this process when it was supposed to have made it shorter. And that is why I would encourage that if there's going to be a discussion on that law, whoever is drafting that law, at least I haven't seen it before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. It hasn't come before us. I haven't seen it, so I don't know at what stage it is. If it's a regulation, it hasn't come to the committee I chair, also in Parliament, so I haven't seen it. But I'm hoping that in the National Council for Administration of Justice, they should get a task from within, because the judiciary will be able to say, our challenges, if you write that law that way, is this going to be this? The challenge that, so that they get input and participation, so that it becomes more airtight, if that's what they want to achieve.
All right.